17 teams passed on him. 17. They said he was too slow, not fast enough for the NFL, didn't have breakaway speed, couldn't dominate at the next level. They were wrong. 18,355 career rushing yards, 3 Super Bowl rings, 4 rushing titles, 1 MVP, Hall of Fame, the all-time leading rusher in NFL history. And he did it without elite speed. Emmitt Smith wasn't supposed to be great, he was supposed to be good, solid. A nice pick in the middle of the first round. Instead, he became the greatest running back who ever lived. Not the most talented, not the fastest, not the most explosive, but the greatest. Because greatness isn't about talent, it's about longevity, consistency, durability. Showing up every Sunday for 15 years and producing. Emmitt Smith did that better than anyone. Better than Jim Brown, better than Walter Payton, better than Barry Sanders. Today we're breaking down the rise of Emmitt Smith. From 17th pick to all-time rushing leader. The doubts, the dominance, the dynasty, the separated shoulder game, the record-breaking run, and why he's the most underrated superstar in NFL history. Let's go. Emmitt Smith was born in 1969 in Pensacola, Florida. Grew up playing football, running the ball. That's all he wanted to do. Run. He went to Escambia High School, became a legend, rushed for over 8,000 yards, 106 touchdowns. In high school, 106. That's not a typo. He was unstoppable. Every major college program wanted him. He chose Florida. Stayed home, played for the Gators from 1987 to 1989. 3 seasons, rushed for 3,928 yards, 36 touchdowns, set SEC records, won SEC Player of the Year. But here's the thing, scouts weren't convinced. They watched the tape, saw a running back who wasn't explosive, who didn't have breakaway speed, who ran in the low 4.5 range. That's slower than elite backs. Bo Jackson had legendary speed. Herschel Walker was a freak athlete. Barry Sanders was electric quick. Emmitt was methodical. Scouts thought that would limit him. They were wrong. 1990 NFL Draft. The Cowboys had the 17th pick. They needed a running back. Herschel Walker was gone. Traded to Minnesota. The Cowboys were rebuilding. Jimmy Johnson was the coach. First year, Jerry Jones owned the team. They'd gone 1-15 the year before. Rock bottom. The Cowboys needed talent. The draft started. The first 16 picks went by. Running backs were selected, but not Emmitt Smith. Teams passed, took other guys. Then Dallas was on the clock. Pick 17. Jerry Jones wanted a defensive player. Jimmy Johnson wanted Emmitt Smith. They argued. Johnson won. The Cowboys selected Emmitt Smith, running back, Florida. The pick was criticized. Experts said Dallas reached, said Smith was slow, said they should have taken someone else. The Cowboys didn't care. Jimmy Johnson believed in Emmitt, saw something others didn't. Vision, balance, toughness, the ability to run between the tackles, to grind out yards, to carry the load. Johnson was right. Emmitt's rookie season, 1990. The Cowboys went 7-9. Not great, but progress. Emmitt rushed for 937 yards, 11 touchdowns. Good numbers. Not spectacular, but consistent, reliable. He showed he belonged, showed he could handle the workload. The next year, 1991, Emmitt exploded. 1,563 rushing yards, led the NFL, 12 touchdowns, made the Pro Bowl. At age 22, Emmitt Smith was the best running back in football. The Cowboys went 11-5, made the playoffs, lost in the second round, but the foundation was built. Troy Aikman at quarterback, Michael Irvin at receiver, Emmitt Smith at running back. The Triplets, the greatest trio in NFL history. The Dynasty was beginning. 1992, the breakout. Emmitt rushed for 1,713 yards, led the league again, 18 touchdowns. The Cowboys went 13-3, best record in the NFC. They destroyed teams. The offense was unstoppable. Aikman to Irvin through the air, Emmitt on the ground. The defense was elite. Charles Haley, Ken Norton Jr. The Cowboys made the playoffs, beat the Eagles, beat the Niners, made the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 27, Cowboys versus Bills. Buffalo's third straight Super Bowl appearance, third straight loss. The Cowboys won 52-17, dominated. Emmitt rushed for 108 yards, 1 touchdown, but more importantly, he controlled the game, kept the Bills' offense off the field, ground out drives, killed clock. That's what great running backs do. They control tempo. Emmitt did it perfectly. First ring at age 23. 1993, the sequel. Emmitt rushed for 1,486 yards, led the league, third straight rushing title, 9 touchdowns. The Cowboys went 12-4, made the playoffs again. This is when Emmitt became a legend. The Giants game, Week 15. The Cowboys needed to win to clinch the division. Emmitt separated his shoulder in the first quarter, left the game. The Cowboys' offense stalled. They were losing. Halftime. Emmitt told Jimmy Johnson he could play. Johnson said no, too risky. Emmitt insisted. He came back in the third quarter, played with a separated shoulder, rushed for 168 yards, 1 touchdown. The Cowboys won 16-13. Overtime. Emmitt was the hero. That game defined him. Toughness, grit, willingness to sacrifice his body for the team. That's what separated Emmitt from everyone else. Not speed, not explosiveness, heart. The Cowboys made the Super Bowl again. Super Bowl XXVIII, Cowboys vs. Bills. Buffalo's fourth straight Super Bowl. Fourth straight loss. The Cowboys won 30-13. Emmitt rushed for 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Super Bowl MVP. Back-to-back championships. At age 24, Emmitt Smith had 2 rings, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 2 wins, 3 straight rushing titles. He was dominating the NFL, and he was just getting started. 1994. The Holdout. Emmitt wanted a new contract, deserved one. He was the best running back in football. Jerry Jones didn't want to pay, thought Emmitt was replaceable, that any running back could succeed behind Dallas's offensive line. Big mistake. Emmitt held out, missed the first 2 games. The Cowboys lost both, went 0-2, looked terrible. Jones caved, paid Emmitt. Emmitt came back. Week 3. The Cowboys won their next 7 games, went 7-0 with Emmitt, finished 12-4, made the playoffs, lost to the Niners in the NFC Championship. But Emmitt proved his point. He wasn't replaceable. The Cowboys needed him. The offense didn't work without him. Jones learned. Never doubted Emmitt again. 1995. The three-peat. Emmitt rushed for 1,773 yards, led the league, 4th rushing title in 5 years. 25 touchdowns, 25. The Cowboys went 12-4, made the playoffs, beat the Eagles, beat the Packers in the cold, beat the Steelers in Super Bowl 30, 27-17. 3rd ring, 3 championships in 4 years, a dynasty. Aikman, Irvin, Emmitt. The Triplets delivered 3 titles, cemented their legacy, and Emmitt was the engine, the foundation, the guy who made it all work. From 1991 to 1995, Emmitt Smith led the NFL in rushing yards. 5 straight years. That's dominance. That's consistency. That's greatness. He averaged 1,600 yards per season, 17 touchdowns per season, for 5 years. Nobody does that. Jim Brown played 9 seasons, retired early. Barry Sanders played 10 seasons, retired early. Walter Payton played 13 seasons, elite production. But Emmitt played 15 seasons and produced at an elite level for 12 of them. That's longevity. That's durability. That's what makes him the greatest.
Let's talk about Barry Sanders, the most talented running back ever. Electric.
Explosive. Magical. Barry rushed for 15,269 yards, 99 touchdowns, then retired at age 30 in his prime. Walked away. Could have played 5 more years, could have broken every record. But he quit. That's his choice, his right. But it's also why Emmitt is greater. Emmitt didn't quit, didn't walk away. He played until his body broke down, until he had nothing left. That's commitment. That's greatness. Walter Payton. Sweetness, the standard. 16,726 career rushing yards, 110 touchdowns, 13 seasons. Hall of Fame. Legend. Payton held the rushing record for 18 years, from 1984 to 2002. Then Emmitt broke it. October 27, 2002. Week 8. Cowboys at Seahawks. Emmitt needed 93 yards to break Payton's record. He got 109. Broke the record in the 3rd quarter. 11-yard run. The game stopped. Celebration. Emmitt cried. Payton's family was there. Walter had died 3 years earlier. Cancer. Never got to see Emmitt break his record, but his family witnessed it, honored it. That moment was emotional, historic. Emmitt Smith became the all-time leading rusher at age 33, still producing, still grinding. Here's what people don't understand about Emmitt. He wasn't flashy, wasn't exciting. He didn't make defenders miss like Barry, didn't break tackles like Jim Brown, didn't have long touchdown runs like Bo Jackson. Emmitt was methodical, consistent. 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, first down, over and over, for 15 years. That's not sexy. Doesn't make highlight reels, but it wins games. It breaks records. It builds legacies. Emmitt Smith understood that. He didn't care about highlights, cared about winning, about production, about showing up every Sunday and doing his job. That's why he's the greatest. The offensive line argument. People say Emmitt's success was because of Dallas's offensive line. The Great Wall of Dallas. Larry Allen, Nate Newton, Eric Williams, Mark Tuine, Mark Stepnoski, elite linemen, Hall of Famers. Yes, Emmitt had a great line, but so did every great running back. Jim Brown had the Browns line. Walter Payton had the Bears. Barry Sanders had Lomas Brown and Kevin Glover. Great running backs have great lines. That's how football works. But here's the counter. Emmitt left Dallas in 2003, signed with Arizona, played 2 seasons, age 34 and 35, past his prime. Arizona had a terrible offensive line, bottom 5 in the league. Emmitt still rushed for 937 yards in 2004, at age 35, with no help. That proves it wasn't just the line. It was Emmitt. Let's compare stats. Emmitt Smith, 18,355 rushing yards, 164 touchdowns, 4.2 yards per carry, 15 seasons. Jim Brown, 12,312 rushing yards, 106 touchdowns, 5.2 yards per carry, 9 seasons. Barry Sanders, 15,269 rushing yards, 99 touchdowns, 5.0 yards per carry, 10 seasons. Walter Payton, 16,726 rushing yards, 110 touchdowns, 4.4 yards per carry, 13 seasons. Emmitt has fewer yards per carry, but he has the most total yards, the most longevity. That's the difference. Brown and Sanders were more explosive, but they didn't last. Emmitt lasted. That's greatness. Here's why Emmitt is underrated. Because he played for the Cowboys, America's team, the most popular franchise, the most hated franchise. People assumed Emmitt's success was because of the team, the system, the talent around him. They diminished his accomplishments, said anyone could run behind that line. That's disrespectful. That's wrong. Emmitt carried the ball 4,409 times, 4,000 most in NFL history. His body took punishment for 15 years. He played through injuries, through pain, and he kept producing. That's not system. That's not luck. That's greatness. The MVP season, 1993. Emmitt won MVP, only running back to win it in the past 30 years. He rushed for 1,486 yards, 9 touchdowns in 14 games, missed 2 games with a shoulder injury, still won MVP, still led the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. That separated shoulder game against the Giants defined his legacy, showed his toughness, his willingness to sacrifice. Modern players sit out with minor injuries, load management, rest. Emmitt played with a separated shoulder in a must-win game and dominated. That's what legends do. Emmitt retired after the 2004 season, played his last game with Arizona, age 35, 15 seasons, 18,355 rushing yards, 164 touchdowns, 11 Pro Bowls, 4 rushing titles, 1 MVP, 3 Super Bowl rings, Hall of Fame induction in 2010, first ballot. That's a complete career. That's a legendary career. And it started as the 17th pick. The guy 17 teams passed on. The guy who was too slow, who didn't have breakaway speed, who couldn't dominate at the next level. 17 teams were wrong, and Emmitt proved it every Sunday for 15 years. Here's the final thing you need to know. Emmitt Smith is the greatest running back in NFL history, not the most talented. Barry Sanders was more talented, not the most explosive. Jim Brown was more explosive, not the fastest. Bo Jackson was faster, but the greatest. Because greatness is about more than talent. It's about longevity, durability, consistency, production, showing up every single week for 15 years and delivering. Emmitt did that. Nobody else did. That's why he has 18,000 yards. That's why he has the record. That's why he's the greatest. People still debate Sanders versus Smith, Brown versus Payton. Who's better? Who's the best? Here's the answer. If you want one season, take Barry Sanders. Take Jim Brown. They're more explosive, more exciting. But if you want 15 seasons, take Emmitt Smith. Take the guy who shows up, who grinds, who produces, who wins. 3 Super Bowl rings, 18,000 yards, 164 touchdowns. That's not luck. That's not system. That's greatness. That's Emmitt Smith. So the next time someone says Emmitt was just a product of the Cowboys, just a system back, just a guy who ran behind a great line, show them the numbers. 18,355 yards, 15 seasons, 4 rushing titles, 3 rings, 1 MVP. Then ask them how many running backs lasted 15 years. How many broke Walter Payton's record? How many won 3 Super Bowls? The answer is 1. Emmitt Smith, the 17th pick. The guy who was too slow, the greatest running back who ever lived. That's his legacy. That's his story. That's why he matters. If you want more NFL legends like this, subscribe. More coming soon.